Welcome back to the dopest show you won't get sick of. I'm Spencer, this is Sasha. I spent most of my 20s in federal prison, but have been off heroin since April 9, 2010. Got a lot of stories about the stupid stuff I did to get put in prison. I've also got a lot of stories about the crazy stuff that happened while I was in prison, and God forbid you end up in prison. I want to make some of the same mistakes I made. So, getting home a little bit late, getting a quick one out there. There's going to be another one tonight, but this is a very interesting one. It's not clickbait. Dude had a helmet. So, I got to Petersburg Medium, and I found out it was a lot different than the low. A lot of weirdos, a lot of very strange people. Now, me, being reasonably articulate, and I don't like to keep a beard because I look like I'm going to hijack an airplane or something, like usually it ain't a good look for me. It just, when I get a big beard, I'd never go through an airport like that again. I did that one time. I got felt up all kinds of crazy. But anyway, kept clean shaved. It grows in a little better now. Back then it was a little splotchy. So I kept clean shaved. And being somebody's clean shaved that doesn't, talk ignorant, unfortunately, because I kept to myself and everything else and I didn't immediately go approach and find a group, a number of people probably thought I was a damn chomo. Yeah, ain't that a shame? Made friends with a lot of the leaders of different gangs there over time. Probably because, I'm a thinker, articulate, and people thought I was like some type of MMA master or something. I wasn't. I had some basics, and basics can take you a long way. But that got your respect, and but ended up, having a lot of very interesting conversations with people. But when I first got there, not the case. Also, what I found out was pill line. If you take medications, you got to stand in pill line. At the low security, if the quick guy was working, it'd take 5-10 minutes. He knew everybody. He didn't have to see your ID. Before you could get up to the window, he'd have already turned around and gave yours to the next. And he didn't break it up or anything, which people cheek that and bring it back. The other guy checked every person's ID, would make it tongue, and he'd pick who he did that with. It was annoying. It was very annoying. He'd pick and choose who he did that with, and he took about 20 minutes, which I thought was incredibly slow, until I got to the medium, where instead of 30 or so people in pill line, there's 120 to 150 people that go to pill line. I'm stuck. If the quick guy's working, it's now 30 minutes. If the slow guy's working, it's an hour and a half that you have to stand in line. A lot of very interesting stories from pill line. The stuff that happened there, conversations. But when I first got there, they must have thought, they got another one. Each chomo might thought that I might have belonged to one of them, I don't know what it is about how I look, but, I've had to, I had to threaten the whole pill line one day. This is a story before the story. Whispers, this, that, different people try to talk to me, and I tell them, don't talk to me. You like messing with kids, don't talk to me, leave me alone. And after so many whispers and stuff about who's the new guy, I said, listen, I'm not one of y'all. I'm in here for a heroin charge. I don't like what y'all are in here for. If I could, I'd do a lot of things to each and every one of you. And next one of you, it gives me a hard time, I'm going to put steel in you. I had to make a threat and had to get a little bit crazy on it. I was 23 years old, had like a real youngish face, I guess. And I'd been starved when I was in solitary confinement. They starve you in there. Can't get commissary, and they give you, God, it's the times they give you the meals are insane. I lost a lot of weight. So I'd already had that issue at pill line. So every time I walked out there, I was angry anyway. I'd ready to start a fight. Even got approached by Willie Moe, who told me it'd be good to have a friend like him for a young white guy like me. And I already know about Willie Moe, so I had to let him know I don't play that shit. Sorry, I don't normally cuss at all, but I had to say it in that case. So I go out there with a chip on my shoulder. It was cool outside, so nobody can see I have tattoos, see a guy with a little bit of muscle. I just look like a small white guy who's clean shaved and pretty articulate, so people figured I was going to be soft. I had a reputation at the low. That's also what sucked. I had a reputation there. Nobody messed with me. Then I got to the medium. Nobody knows who I am. That sucked. You got this reputation to where you don't have to get in a fight the rest of the time you're there because people worry. You've heard about what he done did before at the meeting. Had to start that all over again, wiped clean. So one day I go out there, and I haven't been there that long, and I see this young Native American fella. He's up towards the door. See, you wait outside in this line. They make you stand in single-digit weather. That should be known. It's abusive. And they don't start pill line until 7:40, but they close the compound from breakfast at like, actually they don't start, I don't think they start pill line until like, it might be even after that, but you're stuck out there waiting for 20 minutes before they open the window, before the first person gets it. So you can either go up there early and stand there for 20 minutes and get it first, or you can go late and you're going to be waiting a long time in the cold, in the hot, in the whatever. So if the line wraps up to the building, it's just a little doorway entrance you go in. They got a window with a little thing. They give you medicine. And there's this guy up there. It's a Native American dude, young fella. Looks like he couldn't be 18 to 20. And a lot of the Native Americans at Petersburg are not good Native Americans. There were some. But in general, most of them were at Petersburg because the natives that were out west beat them up because they had messed up charges. So we got all the messed up ones. And there was a lot. There was like 150, 200 of those guys there. And there were a couple that I met that were not like that and that were good people. A couple that came down from the USPs and had a reputation that I made friends with. But as a whole, they weren't a good people. And then here's this untattooed young guy staring at me. And I'm looking at him like, what you looking at, man? And he looks at me. And he just keeps looking. I'm like, and he just keeps, and I'm like, dude, what? And he goes, and I'm like, what is he doing? And after he did this, his body stiffened. Boom! He hit the ground, started shaking like a fish. I was like, oh, shoot, what just happened? They stopped pill line. It took 30 minutes. We already been out there for 45 minutes. It's a slow guy working. Old white man who's working. He's slow as can be. Slow as can be. Sees your ID, gets medicine out, crushes the pill. It takes his time, checks your mouth, everything else. So it stops pill line for 30 minutes. So we end up being out there for 2 hours before we get our medication. 2 hours of my day now wasted. Well, this happens again. Happens a number of times. And then the people at pill line started realizing the medication he gets, if he gets up there and he takes his medication quick, he ain't going to have a seizure. You know, if he stands in that line, he has to wait, he's going to have a seizure. So people are like, no. And he's like, no, I'll wait in line. I'm like, no, you're not waiting in line. You're going up front. You ain't getting us held up again today. And it's sad, but, you know, the chances are he was a messed up person because he was from out west. The look, the talk, I mean, he was probably not a normal criminal. He probably messed with the children, and that's not a good thing. I mean, we can all disagree about religion, politics, and all kinds of other stuff, but we don't like kid touchers, do we? I think we can all agree on that. That's one thing, you know, consensually around the board. Unless you're a kid toucher, that's the only reason you defend them. That's the only reason I could see anyway. I can't see any other type of twisted logic, although there are some pretty weird people out there, so who knows. So one day I see him and he's got this thing on his head. If you watch South Park, you know how Kyle's got that like, that kind of like, it's got like that flap, like the hat with the flap and then the earmuffs that come down. Looks just like that, but it's big. It's like real big. I'm like, I'll be. They done made him a helmet. They made him a helmet because they knew he was going to fall and have seizures. So they figured, well, better give him head protection. So he had to walk around the prison with the helmet on. And he did get ridiculed. And like I said, you know, man, kids no sympathy. So it couldn't happen to a better person. But anyway, there was one fella in the pill line who came up with a song. And I mean, this is pretty awful. It is pretty bad. But he walked up to him and he, you know that soldier boy, why me cranking, mommy? I don't know how to sing it. Well, he said, oh, Seizure boy. And then he'd start saying, he had his own little song he made up for him. He said, Seizure boy, why me cranking, mommy roll? And then he'd do this. And then he'd literally just fall. He'd throw himself on the cement. Had to hurt himself, but he did it for laughs. And the dude's just like, really, man? You know? And this guy did this over and over again. Like, it's sometimes jokes aren't funny after you've heard them so many times, but this guy started like throwing his body to the ground as hard as he could, like some WWF stuff. Not WWE. I didn't watch WWE. That was after it soured. I watched WWF back in Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock days, back when it was fun to watch. Stone Cold got me in more trouble, you know. Anyway, sorry, I've got ADD, OCD, a few different ABCs, probably autistic, but anyway. So, yeah, he'd throw himself on the ground, the guy who's making fun of him. And it was funny, and he got like more into it. He'd come up with more lyrics to the song. But yeah, this guy wore a dang helmet in the summer, in the winter, and he needed that helmet. His hit hard. Oh, the first time it happened, after he seized out and everybody's freaking out because the inmate's trying to tend to him, they don't know anything about it. You know, and seizures are scary. Casey, my fiance, she gets them every once in a while. It's been a couple years since the last one, but I think it was more stress-induced. She got them regularly with her ex-husband, who was a piece of trash. And since being with me, she only had one at the most random time that was not stressful. She was at a nail salon with my mom having her feet soaked, and it was a relaxing day, and she just went into a seizure. My mom called me freaking out, and I talked her through it. I know how to deal with it now. But they didn't know how to deal with it. And the kid came out of it randomly, and he sits up, he looks around, and he goes, "Ow!" Which I know it's not supposed to be funny, but like I was like the whole time, and when he just snapped out of it, looked around, he, "Ow!" It was, I don't know, it made me laugh. I may be wrong, but anyway, yeah, maybe that laughing, you know, I end up with the love of my life who had seizures. Maybe that was, you know what I mean? Like you make fun of a special kid and you end up getting a special kid whenever you have kids later on. Maybe it's like one of them type of things. I don't know. Thank God she's doing good. My fiance's doing good. She doesn't have them anymore. But, you know, it was just the most dangest thing you ever saw. This kid had a helmet. Full-on helmet. He could have hit anything in that thing. They wouldn't have made him take that helmet off. They'd be scared he'd fall on the ground, bust his head without it. He could have hit it. I never thought about that. He could have hit anything he wanted to in that thing. It's a big helmet. And it's like foam and stuff. They made him a helmet. They made him a helmet. And he had that helmet anytime you saw him. I think they required him to wear it. Probably like, you know, I don't know, liability purposes. But anybody who's at Petersburg, I would say 2013 to 2015 would remember Seizure Boy. And, you know, I called him Helmet Head a couple times. You know, it was, rumor was around he messed with kids, you know, so you can't, no sympathy for that. I mean, it does suck. It's a sucky disorder to have. But you do stuff like that, well, couldn't have happened to a nicer person. So this was a quick one. I'm going to do another one later on tonight. Wanted to get this one up quick since I got home a little bit late. Didn't think it'd upload on time. I'm hoping this will upload by 5. That is the goal. It's going to be started to upload before 2 p.m. So let's hope so. So if you like the video, if you think I earned it, press the like button. If not, I've just wasted 13 minutes and 20 seconds of your life and wish you will never ever get back. And for that, I'm truly sorry, but I hope you did.